Hey all, Tom Moran here from Tom's Big Spiders. This one's kind of special because we're rehousing my Aphonopelma chalcodes, or Arizona blonde, named Nikki. I'll explain that when we get into the video. Kind of a funny story there. Anyway, these guys appear on a lot of beginners lists, and I think they should, but you need to be aware of the temperament, as you'll see with Nikki. She's a little high-strung, but awesome little spider. So anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get into the actual rehousing. Okay, we're about to rehouse my Aphonopelma chalcodes, who actually is one of the few spiders that has a name. Her name is Nikki. It was because when I got her, she was a juvenile. I think she was about 1.5 inch long sex juvenile, and she had an absolutely enormous booty. So you can put two of it. She's named after Nicki Minaj, and anybody that's seen Nicki Minaj in a bathing suit can understand why we came up with that name for her. It was kind of goofy, but it stuck. It was kind of a joke, and then we kind of kept it. Anyway, this is Aphonopelma chalcodes, which is an Arizona blondes. Now, these guys are often on beginner species lists, best beginner species lists, and as they should be, because they can be awesome beginner species. However, I do want to make a note about the behavior. A lot of people have incredibly docile ones, but it seems like for every person has an incredibly docile one, somebody has one that's a little bit nuts, hair kicky, even defense postures. Just keep in mind, when people say a species is particularly tame, there can be differentiations in behavior between different specimens. So for example, some people might have one that's very tame, some might have one that's a little more defensive. This seems to be one of the ones, much like the G. porteri, where it really depends. Some people have very tame ones, some people have crazier ones. As we'll see, Nikki is a little bit crazy, although she's starting to settle down a bit. Now, this is not a rehouse where she actually needs a rehouse right now. I've just been moving a lot of my tarantulas into these enclosures, which I will post a link to. I think it's like M Design or something, and I'm getting them away from these guys. I want to put her in something new. She's kind of due for a change anyway. So if you notice the enclosure, the floor space of this one's probably about the same as this one here, but it's got probably 2.5, 3 inches height on it, which I like. Now, these guys can be kept dry as juveniles and adults. A lot of people choose to keep them dry. However, do know they come from regions where they can burrow and get moisture substrate on the bottom. I think a lot of people keep the slings dry and have problems with them. I do have a sling that I'm raising up, and I kept it moist to start. It's still kind of moist, and I have seen them burrow to reach moist substrate. So she's probably going to shoot out of here like a bat out of hell. Now I got that song stuck in my head. There she is. She's a funny little one. Oh, there she goes right back in. Now she's going out this way. Now she's fighting. Now she's attacking the broad. Yep. There you go. There's Nikki. As much as I hate getting defensive behavior from anything, I was kind of hoping people would see this, because I have so many people going, "What do you mean? They're so tame." Yours might be tame. Nikki's crazy. I love this one. So anyway, this was the one, if you remember, if anybody's been following my videos for a while, she would basically burrow around the same time every year. So she basically, I don't want to say hibernate because it's not hibernate, but in the wild, they would obviously have to winter, somewhere and bury themselves to protect themselves from the cold temperatures. Every October or so, right around the end of October, she would bury herself, and she'd come out almost the exact date in April. It was 3 years in a row. I think there was only 3 days difference between her coming out in April. It was like April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, something like that. So I always thought that was really cool. So let's go ahead and get her in here. Yeah, she's not going to like this at all. There we go. I love this one. I actually love her little attitude. She's so spunky. I'm going to go ahead and let her right out. And get out. Please get out. No, please get out. Calcitrant little spider. All right, so let's go ahead and poke her and get her out. She's probably going to try to kill the brush again. Nope, you're out. There we go. All right, so let Billy get some good shots of her. Now, she's been a great eater, but she will take time off where she won't eat during the winter again when she's doing her little quote-unquote hibernation thing. She won't eat at all. She'll usually reemerge in April and eat like a champ. She grows so slowly. I picked this one up probably about 7 years ago, again, about 1.5 inches. And I would say now she's probably, maybe 3.5 inches or so. So growing very, very slowly, but adorable little thing. Lots of spunk. I mean, she's such a cool little spider. Here we go, get a little more light on her. Now, temperature-wise, these guys come from areas where it gets very, very cold, so there's no need for extra heat. If you're keeping an Aphonopelma species, know that if it gets down to even 60s in your house, they are perfectly fine. What you may see is a decrease in feeding response. They may stop eating as much, but that's perfectly natural and something they would experience in the wild, so it's nothing to be alarmed about. Now, the enclosure is a typical, no, you're not coming out. A typical setup with what we have here is my own mix, which is cocoa fiber, peat, a little bit of topsoil, some cut up sphagnum moss, some charcoal, and some sand, and I mix it all up. There's a little moist area over here, but that will be probably allowed to dry out. And again, they will experience some rain where they're at, so I do encourage you to see if yours might like a little extra moisture by moistening down a corner every once in a while. See what happens. Sometimes you'll be surprised and find they'll sit right over it. I had an older female that used to do the same thing. I'd moisten down a corner and you'd find her sitting right over that moist corner. So that tells you that they are appreciating some of that moisture. Just because they come from places that can be very arid some of the time doesn't mean they don't appreciate a little moisture. And of course, she will be getting one of these water dish. And I have seen this one drink out of the water dish several times. Again, can they be raised without water dishes? Can you keep tarantulas without water dishes? Yes, but the thing is, they will drink out of them, so why not give them the opportunity to drink when they need to? So there we go, Aphonopelma chalcodes, awesome little spiders. I think this is one of these, again, people are going to get mad at me because we talk about hobby staples all the time, but these guys are really rapidly becoming a hobby staple. Hopefully people start breeding them more, because unfortunately I think a lot of the ones that people have today come from the wild. They're pulled from the wild. I have a very funny feeling that this young lady here was pulled out of the wild as a baby. I'm not sure, but I have found one thing that should be noted is that the wild caught specimens tend to be a bit jumpier than some of the captive bred specimens. So something to keep an eye on. But anyway, awesome spiders, very cool. I know some areas that over here in the United States, they're very common. Other countries, they're not so common. So please feel free to chime in the comments section if you live in another country about the availability of these guys. But that's it. Aphonopelma chalcodes. This is Nikki, named after Nicki Minaj. There was probably some drinking that night. All right, so after we filmed this, I dropped the cricket in and she ate. She's been a great eater, and I will say as she's put on more size, she spent more time out in the open than she did earlier on, where she would hide in her burrow most days. And then again, she would go burrowing probably right around the October, early November mark to reappear in early April, almost to the day every single year. She did this for the first 4 years I had it. It was pretty miraculous. But awesome spider, very cool looking. And again, there are some amazingly tractable, calm, and handleable species out there, or specimens out there. Mine, I've just had luck where mine haven't been the most fuzzy and cuddly ones, but we'll see what happens once she puts on some more size. She may calm down because, as always, spiders can change from molt to molt. So that will do it for this one. If you want to check out some more videos, you will find them over there. If you'd like to subscribe, very much appreciated. You click the little circle up there. Love getting comments. I try to answer every single one of them. It's been taking me a little while longer lately, but if you comment, I'm going to answer it. Hope everyone's doing well, and we'll catch you next time.